content creators have also started to lock down their content, and some of them have raised claims against AI developers saying that they don't agree to their data being used to train models. And between April 23 and April 24, 25% of high quality data has been locked down, whether that's by paywalls or other security measures.
Hi there, Joy. Thanks for joining us today to talk about one of the topics that we've been covering in our data series of our bandwidth campaign, questions around the use of data to train AI models. I think it's a really interesting topic, isn't it, this one? And we'll just start maybe by setting the scene a little bit. What we're really talking about here is the data that's used to train the large language model AI products that are out there, the likes of ChatGPT. And there's been suggestions in more recent times that actually, in order to train these models, we're starting to find the limits of what data is available in order to make sure that the models are generating accurate and reliable content. So let's start with that question then. Are we actually running out of data to train these models?
So there's two parts to this question. The first is that these models ingest massive amounts of data as part of their training. And as a result of that, most of what's publicly available has already been mined by ChatGPT and other large language models. There's also been some recent research that suggested that all high quality data sources will be exhausted by 2026. The other area that we're seeing is that content creators have also started to lock down their content, and some of them have raised claims against AI developers saying that they don't agree to their data being used to train models. And between April 23 and April 24, 25% of high quality data has been locked down, whether that's by paywalls or other security measures to stop the web crawlers from taking that online data.
Yeah, in order to train those models. Yeah, so this is becoming a bit of an issue, isn't it? So in response to this, there's been some suggestion that you could perhaps use synthetic data as a solution for training the models. So maybe we can look at, well, what are the pros and cons of using synthetic data, and how does that compare, to training an AI model using that human-generated data that traditionally the models have been trained on?
Yeah, I think this is such an interesting question. Can you use AI to generate new data to then train future AI models? And the answer is not yet. So at the moment, where you use AI-generated data or synthetic data to train a model, you end up degrading the model, and ultimately it results in model failure. What happens is the information that the model ingests starts to overrepresent certain elements and underrepresent other elements. That over successive generations of training leads to the models no longer functioning the way they were designed to and producing output that no longer makes sense. So synthetic data isn't an option at the moment.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So developers have got a bit of a quandary here, haven't they? They've got, on the one hand, they're running out of that human-generated data for the reasons you've described, and at least at present, synthetic data really isn't an option. So what can they do then in this context, Joy, to try and deal with this problem?
We've seen developers coming up with new ideas of how they can get their hands on content. And this year, OpenAI teamed up with Condé Nast, and all of their well-known publications like Vogue, GQ, The New Yorker can now be used by ChatGPT. We've also seen developers looking at actually purchasing publishing houses or other content-based businesses to allow them to get their hands on back catalogues of books and magazines as well.
Sure. Okay. And then I think the other suggestion is that organizations themselves may have the option to make their data available as well. So let's explore that in a little bit more detail. What are the issues that an organization would need to think about if they have an AI developer coming to them saying, we'd really like to use your data to train our AI model?
Yeah, this is definitely something that we're seeing, particularly smaller AI developers who don't necessarily have the same resources as big tech are sometimes asking their customers, can they use their data for training the model? And there can be lots of advantages to this. Allowing the AI model to use your data can lead to a more efficient output. And as a result of that, you may drive efficiencies in the business and cost savings. You may also be able to negotiate a commercial discount on the product with the supplier in exchange for providing the information.
Yeah.
One of the downsides is if you are a market leader, you may not necessarily be comfortable with all of your data being used to train a model that will also be available to other third parties. This could be people like your competitors, like your challengers, and you want to make sure that your data is protected and your market position is protected. The other points to think about are those regulatory and legal things like data protection. How are you managing that? How are you keeping your confidential information of your company secure? And how are you managing with intellectual property as well?
Yeah, okay. So quite a few things for an organization to think about there before they allow that to happen. Well, thanks very much, Joy. Really interesting topic. And as I said, this is part of an article that we've written on this topic in our data series of our Bandwidth campaign. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk us through that. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Duncan.